larvae spread and other diseases also, which are other vector-borne diseases. About this, in detail, Madam Dr. Vidya Parab, Health Officer, Urban Health Center, Panji, will brief you in her detailed presentation. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello and good morning to you all. My staff and special guest, Mr. Goem Martins, staff is come from some government departments as well as some secretaries from cooperative housing societies. So first and foremost, thank you all for coming here today. And I'll just start with the presentation. I think at one point of time, we all knew about malaria in Goa, but dengue was relatively unknown. But in the last 15 years, we are getting more and more cases. So that's the need for us to speak more in detail about dengue and have this day. So to start, next slide please. Dengue happens to be one of the vector-borne diseases. So what's the vector? Vector is the insect, especially the mosquito, who is a part of the life cycle. Okay, and so this mosquito spreads dengue as well as other diseases like malaria, filaria, chikungunya, Japanese encephalitis from one person having the disease to uninfected person. So today we are going to focus more on dengue. But just as an overview, as our Pita already mentioned to you, there are various mosquitoes, different species of mosquitoes, and each of them spreads a different disease. So now going on to next slide please. Next, going on to the mosquitoes in general. We all know mosquitoes, we have all been bitten by them at some point of time because we all are seeing a tropical place like in the country like India. So mosquitoes, the females are the ones who bite us, and for the female to complete her cycle of to lay eggs, she requires a blood meal, and that she takes from one of us, from human beings. And what she does after the blood meal, after a couple of days, she lays eggs, and she usually lays them in clean stagnant water. So a lot of times we get complaints, that there is water, there is dirty water, stagnant water, there is a danger of malaria spread. But even mosquitoes are very choosy, and they usually breed the ones who spread malaria and dengue. In particular, they usually like to lay eggs in stagnant water and clean water, not the dirty water which we see in some gutters. The clean water around in households, around in gardens, that's the water they choose. So they lay eggs, and we have got, in Goa, we have got all these 25 species of mosquitoes, out of which Aedes, two species of Aedes mosquitoes, and these are the mosquitoes which spread dengue. Next slide please. So this is in brief about the cycle. So that a lot of times, like we should know, when we look at water, if it has been stored for more than 7 days, then we can suspect that the mosquitoes have laid eggs there. So after 1 or 3 days, the eggs will hatch and you get what is known as larva. You might have studied about this in school. And these larvae, what we usually see, they say kide padla utkan. So they are very often they are the larvae which move very rapidly. And even the larva, as after this presentation, you all can go and have a look at the different kinds of larvae. And so out of all these, the Aedes, the ones who spread dengue, those mosquitoes, they have a very fast movement. They are the ones who move the fastest. So we have this larva who last for maybe 4 to 6 days. Then there is a stage called the pupa, 1 to 3 days. And then you have the adult mosquito. And the mosquito can survive, the lifespan is around 21 to 28 days, and it can fly up to 2 to 3 kilometers. This is quite a distance. Sorry, it's 3 to 5 kilometers, but this is the upper limit, but at least 2 to 3 kilometers they can easily fly. Next. So these are the, where do the mosquitoes be? As I already told you, it's not just dirty water, it is anyway clean water, stagnant water. So these are the places where they can breathe. What we will show you now. These are buildings under construction where there is curing water, which is stored for a long time. Next. Then again, these are the places cooling waters, some lift wells. Next, please. Then this is one more again now in the hot season. A lot of people are having coconut water. So when those are thrown indiscriminately, this is what happens. You can have mosquitoes breeding, then broken buckets, any discarded containers, water which has been stored in the in this season, summer season. There will be a water storage being done because of water shortage. So you can, if it's stored and not cleaned out every week, you can get breeding of mosquitoes. Next please. These are again discarded tires. In fact, we have planned collection of tires, discarded and disused tires, because this is another favorite place for the mosquitoes to breed. And also people should realize that they don't need a lot. The mosquito is a very small, tiny insect. They don't need a lot of water for breeding. Even a tiny, like you have a discarded spoon or a small cup and then a little bit of water, you get mosquitoes breeding in those. Then one more very important place where many of our field staff find breeding is when there are these flower pots and there is a plate at the bottom, and that is not changed regularly, so you can get breeding over there. And again, drums which are used for water storage. Next. And then any kind of receptacle, they are very, they just want to find water. So any receptacle in the house, in the garden, they will try to breed over there. This is stagnant water in some kind of gutters, and this is the place where more than Aedes is more the kind of Culex is the mosquito which can breed over here. Next. This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito which spreads dengue. It's called a tiger mosquito because of the stripes, white and black stripes, and it's a day biter. Usually it's most active 2 hours after sunrise and 2 hours before sunset, as compared to the mosquitoes which spread malaria. These are what they are called day biters. The bite is very painful, and many of you all might have already experienced. And also it's a very nervous kind of a mosquito. Like if you swat it, then go and bite many people. So that's the reason you get a lot of clusters of dengue cases sometimes, because that one infected mosquito can bite many people at the same time. It's a nervous fever, so you just go around biting a lot of people. And then once it bites and it injects the virus into the person, human being, then for 3 to 10 days the virus circulates in the blood. It's a flavivirus. And we have something else called chikungunya, which is also spread by Aedes mosquito. So next. So now dengue, as I think many of us will be aware, it is mainly high-grade fever with headache. There's pain behind the eyes, joint pains, bleeding tendency. You can get a rash, then nausea, vomiting, sore throat. So all these are the symptoms of dengue. In chikungunya, just to differentiate, it's sudden onset fever and chills, more of joint pain with swelling. You can get a rash, you can get headache, you can get body ache. But also at times people might have dengue infection but not show many symptoms. There are people who might have a mild fever, they are tested for dengue. When they go home they are fine, and then later on they complain that they have dengue. So some can, the ones who are at more risk of getting severe symptoms of dengue are the ones who are very young children, and the elderly who might have other diseases, other comorbidities. Next. So this is about dengue, and also I would like to mention that dengue has no specific, there's no antiviral or some specific treatment for dengue. Mainly it's supportive treatment. A person should know that you are at a risk and you can get serious symptoms, you have to go to the hospital immediately. Then also what is more important here is prevention, because there is no cure or there is no specific treatment. So what we have to focus on here now with the community in general is about preventive measures. It's not just the health, it's like a joint effort by everybody. Everybody has to be involved. And under that we have environmental, biological, chemical and personal. So environmental measures, next slide. So your main is that each of us, we try to keep our surroundings, our houses clean and not let water stagnate or be stored for more than 7 days. we have to store it longer, we have to keep it covered. This simple and once a week we just take a round in the house, in the garden, if we have gardens, and we check that there's nothing, there is no container, no discarded container, any flower pot, any plate below the flower pot, any uncovered drum, that should be emptied, dried, and used again every week. Then once after environmental, next is biological measures. So here we have got two kinds of fish, the gambusia and the guppy fish, which are available in every health center in under the health services in Goa. And we give those fishes to people who come and ask for the fishes. So we have got two kinds. We have got the guppy fish, and these are the fishes who eat. They are called larvivorous fishes. They eat the larva of the mosquitoes. So if there is any like a pond or any kind of container where people are not able to keep it covered, they can't empty, they need the water, then they can use the fish. This is a biological measure. So it is a safe way of, it's an environmentally friendly way of getting rid of mosquito larvae. Next, we have chemical measures. We use chemicals, which is sprayed in all the areas where it's not possible to cover the drain or to clean it out. Then you can use chemical measures. So what is shown on the right hand side is fogging, where we use pyrethrum, which is a chemical, which we use it very sparingly. We don't use it like a lot of times we get letters saying there are a lot of mosquitoes here, kindly arrange for fogging. That is called fogging. What is shown, we have machines where we put diesel and we add the pyrethrum and we do fogging to get rid of the adult mosquitoes. But what I would like to say is that we right now we have only one chemical for adult mosquitoes, and we have to use it sparingly to avoid resistance. It's very easy for the mosquito to get resistant to these chemicals. So what we do, we don't use it for all mosquitoes, because what happens is when we use it, some mosquitoes might die, some might run away to some other area. It's not really solving the problem. We use it only when we know there is a known case of dengue or malaria, in which case we use this fogging to see that the mosquitoes don't bite this patient and it can spread. So that's the only time we use the fogging. Otherwise, we try to avoid fogging, we try to use other methods. Then we have personal protection. Each of us use mosquito nets, we put nets on the windows, we use mosquito repellents. Those are personal protection methods. Next one. So that takes care of all the measures that we have. And then of course we have all these district level meetings, so that we spread a message about how it spreads and what is the role of each individual, each person in the community to prevent and to stop the breeding of mosquitoes and to stop the all these diseases spread by the mosquitoes. Then also we go, in addition to all the higher levels, we also go to schools to have awareness generation about mosquitoes, how they spread, what are the ways we can protect ourselves. And very important, what we do in all our construction sites. Maybe our sanitary inspector, Kishore Anandekar, will give you more details about what we are doing at the construction sites. Yeah, and also we have exhibition in the community so people are aware what the larva look like, what eggs look like, where do they breed, all these details. Then we have awareness in offices, hotels, we have this kind of programs. We are trying to involve everybody, different groups, and all should be aware. Then also there is house to house IDC going on. We have source reduction drives, anti-container drives, tire collection drives. We have staff who go to all these houses, communities, societies, and we spread a message. We also check if there is bleeding anywhere, we call them, we get it destroyed. So this is also ongoing activity which is undertaken by the health. Then we also have fish introduction in wells. In wells where there is no fish, we introduce this guppy fish so that mosquitoes can't breathe in the water. That's it. Thank you so much.
We'll take over question answer session later. In the meantime, you will be wondering why we have called you all. Government offices, representatives from construction sites, representatives from housing societies. So our sanitary inspector, Shri Kishore Arundekar, will be in a better position to tell you what we expect from you all and how inter-sectoral coordination, how it is important. Over to you, Kishore.
Good morning. Myself, Mr. Kishore Arundekar. All respected members, construction representatives and officers present here, welcome. Today on the occasion of this day, Dengue Day, we've all gathered here to create actually awareness on the dengue. All past year we are doing so, and very much control in dengue, last year also. So prevention and to understand our social and individual responsibility towards this disease called dengue, and we tackle it in our way for the past so many years. So our this urban health center Panji and the program, we want to spread one important message that prevention starts from our own home. Means आमच्याकडल्यानूच आम्ही जे लोकल्स आसात, जे पणजेचे लोकल्स आसा, आम्ही मेन आमच्या घराकडल्यान प्रिव्हेन्शन स्टार्ट करूंक जाय. बेसिकली आमचे जे वर्कर्स आसात, जे फील्ड वर्कर्स आसात, ते पब्लीक प्लेसीचेर आमी वयतात. वी गो ऑन द पब्लीक प्लेसीस लायक जे मार्केट एरियाज आसा, जे ऑफिसीस, गव्हर्नमेंट ऑफिसीस आसा, in the municipal area, but in the houses, housing societies, basically we face the difficulties and the problems is in the houses. Many times, खूपशे टायमार the housing societies allows करिनात our people to enter. And every time the advisories and the letters from us, we the start. It is in the pre-monsoon preparation. So before 1 month of monsoon, आम्ही जो pre-monsoon activities start करतात आणि त्या activitiesan आम्ही cover करतात की every housing societies, every government offices आणि every जे corporation असतात like KTC involved. आम्ही letters दितात saying that in that आम्ही सगळे mention केलेले असतात की advisories what precaution individually or the सगळ्यांनी मिळून घेवचे असता in the monsoon season, like the water stagnation जावंक जायना, any tires जावं कितें आसत ती ओपन जाल्यार ते एक तर तुमी सेफ प्लेसीर दवरात, अदरवायज ते हँडओव्हर करात टू द म्युनिसिपालिटीज or आमकां इन्फॉर्म करात, सो दॅट बिकॉज आमी एवरी टायम बिफोर monsoon टायर ड्रायव्ह करतात. सो हे सगळे एडवायझरीज दिवन सुद्धा खंय तरी आमी कमी पडटात. आणि दीस डेंग्यू जेन्ना पीक टायम येता तेन्ना तो स्प्रेड जाता. सगळ्यांक आमकां खबर आसा की डेंग्यू स्प्रेड जाता मस्किटो ब्रीड जाता इन द स्टॅग्नंट वॉटर. आणि मस्किटो ऑफ डेंग्यू लायक एडिस मस्किटो आसा तो स्पेशली ब्रीड जाता इन कूल प्लेसीस, little water, like flower pots, like any stagnant water. In a like आता तुझे picture एक photo show केल्लो that coconut. आमचे जे हांव before coming to the urban health center I met चिंबेल, आणि चिंबेल आमी जो problem face करताले in that GMC surrounding of that coconut area. एवरी टाइम ते कितें करताले, आमी जेन्ना अशे सगळ्यांक नोटिसीस काडले अराउंड दॅट जीएमसी हॉस्पिटला कडल्यान भायल्यान जे घेवन बसता, सो तेंच्यांनी ते जे वेंडर्स आशिल्ले लोकल वेंडर्स तेंच्यांनी कितें केलें की आमचे नोटिसी येतकीर सगळे ते उखलिले आनी व्हरून आपल्या घरा कडेन व्हरून डंप केले. इन द कुडका आणि दॅट सराउंडिंग एरिया. अशें जालें की जीएमसी कडे सगळें ओके जालें आनी तेंच्या घरा कडेन मागीर मॉस्किटो ब्रिडींग जालें आनी थंय स्प्रेड जालें. सो बेसिकली आमचें इंटेन्शन अशें आशिल्लें की ती एरिया क्लीन करपाचें. आमचें इंटेन्शन अशें आसलेलें की ते प्रॉपरली तुमी डिस्पोज करा. आमी वचून एका एका वेंडराक आमी सांगिल्लें की ते तुमी कट करात, अशें कट करात आनी ते परते करून दवरात. अशें सगळें सांगून सुद्दां तेंच्यांनी तें भरलें भेलें आनी त्या कुडका वयले आनी त्या वर्सा मागीर ते कुडका आवटलेट जालो. ते केसीस इन्क्रीज जाले. सो आमी इतले एफर्ट्स घालतात. सो म्हणून की आपली एक एक मनशाची सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कितें. आमी हो एव्हरी इयर प्रोग्राम करतात, लोक येतात, लोक आयकतात, पूण आमी हर एका मनशान जे कितें हांगा म्हणजे स्पेशली हांगा जे डिस्कस जाता, स्पेशली हांव सांगता ते हावजींग. आमकां हावजींग सोसायटीज जे पळय कमिटी आसा तेंचे कडल्यान खूब प्रॉब्लम जाता, इन स्पेशली इन पणजी. सम ऑफ द गुड आसा, बरे आसात, ते लोक कॉपरेटीव आसात, पूण तेंचे जे पळय हे आसा म्हणजे सेक्युरिटी आसा ते आमकां एक एक फावटी अलाउज करना. लास्ट टायम आमी एक सोसायटी एक लेटर केले कारण कामां 25 विलास कामत किनारा कमिटीक आमी लेटर केलें बिकॉज आमचे जे ते 2 डेंग्यू केसीस मेळ्ळे आनी आमकां हाऊस टू हाऊस विजीट करपाकूच मेळूंक ना. आनी वेरेज द जेन्ना आमी पेशंटाच्या घरा विजीट केले पेशंटाच्याच घरान फ्लावर पॉटान ब्रिडींग मेळ्ळें आनी तेन्ना आमी कमिटीक लेटर केलें की आमकां ईच एंड एवरी हाऊसीस विजीट करपाक एक असो प्रोग्राम तुमी फिक्स करा. इवन संडे करा ऑर एनी अदर डे करा, तुमकां जो जशें कितें इजी मेळटलें तशें. सो अशें करून मागीर आमी त्या कमिटीक कॉन्फिडंटान घेवन आमी तो एक प्रोग्राम केलो. सो एवरी टायम असो प्रोग्राम जावचो ना म्हणून हे प्रोग्राम की तुमचें जें कितें आसा इन सोसायटी एवरी 15 days एक ड्राय डे तुमी हे करचो ऑब्झर्व करचो आनी तुमचे टोटल सोसायटी भोंवून खंयच आमचें स्टॅग्नंट उदक उरचें ना. इवन दॅट स्पेशली इन दॅट फ्लावर पॉट. आतां कन्स्ट्रक्शन सायटीचें सांगपाचें जाल्यार आमी एवरी वीक थंय विजीट मारता. एवरी वीक आमी थंय चॅकिंग करता थंय ब्रिडींग आसा काय ना, थंय एंटी लार्वल एक्टिविटी जाता काय ना, थंय जे लेबरर्स येतात ते स्क्रीनिंग जाता काय ना, तेंचे हेल्थ कार्ड्स करतात काय ना, ते खंयच्या स्टेटींतल्यान येतात, हे सगळो डेटा आमी दवरतात. हे आमी थंय रजिस्टरूय आसता आनी जर ते करिना जाल्यार आमचे कडेन अंडर पब्लीक हेल्थ एक्ट आमचे कडेन पावर्सूय दिल्ले आसा टू सर्व द नोटीस, टू फायन देम हे. सो पूण जेन्ना पब्लिकांचो येता, जेन्ना हावजींग येता, जेन्ना गव्हर्मेंट ऑफिसीस येता, बिकॉज गव्हर्मेंट ऑफिसांनी सुद्दां खूब कडेन आमकां ब्रिडींग मेळटा. इन दॅट वॉशरूमान तेंच्यो बकेट भरलेले आसता, तेंचे थंय फ्लावर पॉट आसता. एवरी गव्हर्मेंट ऑफिसान आमी नोडल ऑफिसर अपॉइंट केल्लो आसा. आमचे कडेन नांवां आसा, आमचे कडेन तेंचे कॉन्टॅक्ट नंबर आसा. आमी तेंकां लेटर्स धाडटात की बाबा तुमची ज्यो एक्टिविटीज जाता एवरी 15 days आफ्टर एवरी फोर्टनायटली ज्यो एक्टिविटीज जाता त्या एक्टिविटीचे रिपोर्ट सेंड करा म्हणून. बट सम ऑफ द म्हाका दिसता लेस दॅन 50% आमकां ते रिपोर्ट्स येतात एक्टिविटीज आनी उरलेले आहा तेंचे कांय एक्टिविटीजच जायनात. बट आमचे जे फील्ड वर्कर्स आसा ते रेग्युलरली विजीट मारतात. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दीस आमचे जे फील्ड एक्टिविटीज आसा, फील्ड वर्कर्स आसा, तेंचेर मागीर लोड येता. बिकॉज बेसिकली वी आर फॉर इन द टू वर्क इन द पब्लीक प्लेसीस. मागीर आमकां अशें सोसायटीनी टायम घालचो पडटा, आमकां गव्हर्मेंट ऑफिसांनी टायम घालचो पडटा, आमकां ज्या जाग्यार एक्टिविटी जावंक जाय थंय मागीर टायम घालचो पडटा आनी मागीर आमचे लोडेड जाता. बिकॉज देर इज कितलेशे स्टाफ आमचे रिटायर्ड जाल्ले आसा, लेस स्टाफ आसा, मॅनपॉवर कमी असल्या कारणान टोटल एरिया हे जायना. बिकॉज आतां आमचो लास्ट टायम आमी हे केलें की फिशरी डिपार्टमेंट आनी ते ज्यो बोटी आसा आमी पयलींच फिशरी डिपार्टमेंटाक बरयलें की तुमचे जे पंदळ असतात ते फॉर फिशींग यूज करतात ते सगळे आमी पंदळ कवर करून घेतले. जे यूज ना ते शेडीन हाडून दवरले. सो हे सुद्दां आमी फिशरी डिपार्टमेंटाच्या फाटल्यान लागून आमकां करून घेवचें पडलें. बिकॉज आमी तांकां एक्चुअली बिफोर दीस मॉन्सून प्रिपेरेशन आमी तांकां लेटरां धाडटा, सगळें करता. एक एव्हरी इयराचो प्रोग्राम असो जावंक जाय आशिल्लो आनी ते घडोवन येवंक जाय पूण हें जायना. सांगपाचें हें इतलेंच आसा की एव्हरीबडी जर सगळ्यांनी आपली सोशियल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वळखून जर ह्यो कामां इन द प्री मॉन्सुनान जावं इन द मॉन्सुनान सुद्दां जर करीत जाल्यार आमचेर हें अशें इतके मेजर हेचेर आमचे डेंग्यू स्प्रेड जावचो ना आनी आमी ते कंट्रोल करूंक शकतले. इवन जर कोणाकूच कितें जर हें आसा तेंच्यांनी आमकां हेल्थाक घेवन कॉन्टेक्ट करूंक जाता आनी आमी ऑलवेज तांकां हेल्प करपाक ते आसात. सो हे दोन उतरां सांगून जर कोणाक कितें विचारपाचें जाल्यार विचारप आनी इवन केन्नाय जर हांव अर्बन हेल्थ सेंटर कोण आसता कोणाकूय कितें विचारपाक जाय कोणाकूय कितें डिफिकल्टी आसा कोणाकूय कितें एक्टिविटी करपाची आसा हेचेर सोसायटीन जर एक्टिविटी करपाक जाय फॉर स्ट्रेस रिडक्शन ड्रायव्ह लायक दॅट जाल्यार आमकां हें कॉन्टेक्ट केल्यार जाता. वी वील प्लॅन दॅट आनी एक बरी एक्टिविटी करपाक जाता. Thank you.
And that is the reason why intersectoral coordination is very, very important. Till the time I joined health services, I was not aware about this level skill. I always used to say, "Utkan kide lagya utaya parat bara, parat uttens, parat kide." And unless I joined health services, Madam also rightly said money plant. Nowadays, people are aware about storing water with leaf or cover it with any cloth for that matter. People are aware about that. People are not aware about money plants inside the houses, inside the cabins, inside the offices. Then plates underneath vases. We don't want our floors to get dirty, so we put plates. And we tell people that once in a week, please dry those plates. Pour that water out and again keep the plate. This money plant that also water has to be changed every 7 days. Normally what happens if you just pour the water, if there are eggs in that water, those eggs will stick to the walls of the vase. Okay? So it has to be cleaned properly and refilled. Now coming to the plates below vases. If you have 10 vases, once in a week you will clean it. Right? Right or not? Will you be able to clean it? Yes or no? Yes, na? Sunday, because all other days we are working. If you have 80 vases, will you be able to clean it on Sunday? Yes or no? No. Then, what is the solution for that? This I personally experienced at my place because though I am working in health services, it was becoming very difficult for me just to take out those plates, pour it, and keep it again. And those pots are quite big. It's so heavy. It's exercise for my arms, but whole my Sunday is gone in that. So what I did was watering my plants carefully. Only 1 or 2 glasses of water is more than enough. Plants get used to it. Hardly any water comes down. It takes care of the plants. It takes care of unnecessary breathing. Right? So that we can do. These sessions we conduct because this message has to go to your offices, other staffs. If housing society representative is there, it should go to the members of the housing societies. If it is about the construction representative, it should go to all the people who are working over there so that they can take care of themselves and also surrounding. What we do when we get fever? What we do? कितें करता आमी जोर आयलो काय प्रोसीन घेता आनी कोण कितें करता टेल नो ब्युटिफुल ऑल्सो कितें करता तुमी हार्डली एनी पीपल गो टू डॉक्टर सुरवातीक बरोबर आमी सगळे दोतोर जातात आमी फार्मसीन वचून विंडो शॉपिंग करू कोण पॅरासिटामॉल घेता कोण आनी कितें घेता 2-4 दीस आपल्याचेर एक्सपेरिमेंट करता मागीर कोण डोलो घेता मागीर आनी एक्सपेरिमेंट आनी सामकेच निवळना जातकीर दोतोरागेर वता एंड इट सो हॅपन्स इन फ्यू केसीस दॅट डॉक्टर म्हणटा अरे ह्या रिपोर्टाचेर तुजी प्लेटलेट काउंट देंवला आनी यू नीड इमिजिएट एडमिशन. We don't want people to reach that state. If in and around there are dengue cases, please feel free to go to any health center and check here. Go to the doctor. Definitely they will do dengue test. Okay? Why we are talking more about dengue and not chikungunya? Though it spreads by the same mosquito, because chikungunya is not fatal. Dengue at times is fatal. Okay? And each life is important, right? Then as madam said, this dengue mosquito, matso kaso asta, abuz kaso. So whereas malaria mosquito bites a single person to take its full meal, late evenings, early in the mornings. Dengue mosquito bites 10 to 15 people at a time to take its one full meal. And if that particular mosquito is infected, then there are high chances of transmitting dengue. Okay? As earlier it has been mentioned that there is no specific treatment for dengue. For malaria there is specific treatment. For dengue there is no. Only on the basis of signs and symptoms, doctor will give you advice and treatment. Okay, that is the reason why it is important to visit doctor. Because when you take paracetamol or dolo, what happens? एकदम बेस्ट कामाक गेली हजेरी लायली 20 वरांचे काम केले. In case of dengue, ample of rest is very very important. That is where we are lacking. गुळी घेता कामाक वतात, right? Lot of liquid intake is very very important. Hydration is very important. हे सगळे सायडीन दवरून आम्ही कितें करता कामां फाटल्यान आपली लीव वाचली वता काम जालें माझी कामां आसलेली हांवें केलें वी आर हॅपी विथ दॅट neglecting our own health. Okay, so it's an urge that whatever fever it is, please visit doctor. Let doctor decide whether you should go to the work or take rest. Clear? Thank you. I request Sir Roland Martins, coordinator Goan, to say few things. He's come with Bebo, huh?
So, at the outset, I would like to express my gratitude to the tireless efforts of the Urban Health Center, Panjim. For so many years, I have been associating myself with them to combat the vector-borne disease. So, Dr. Parav has just taken over. Ma'am Arpita is there, Dr. Yogesh, and Sanitary Inspector he's been all over the place. From Shimla, he has come to the city now. विषय असो आसा की जेन्ना हेल्थ सर्विसेस आसा की हेल्थ सेंटर आसा आमी सगळे जबाबदारी तेंचेर घालता. So today's theme of this day is very very important. There are three important words there. One is community. Second one is participation, and third is control. So these are three important words we have to concentrate on. Community. The problem is we are so connected with our mobiles and WhatsApp. Community don't care karna. So there is less of the community and more of the individual. There is more I than we. But in dengue control, if we can concentrate on the I, that is also important. Because if I decide that something should be done, it will be done. We करपाक खूप difficult. कोणा विचारले तू येतलो मरे संडे आम्ही क्लीन करया मरे असं आसतलोच मागीर त्या दिसा आयतारा दीस फाटल्यान पळयत कोणूच हातूंत येतलो. Now this has been the experience all over, and we have been pushing this very hard. I always carry these days now. I'm carrying this frog. On Goem भोंवता सगळ्या दिसांनी. On the 28th of April, we observe this Save the Frog Day. Because historically आमी पळोवपाक जाय डेंगू बी गोंयांत पयलें नासलें. If you go in the history of Dendue also. Okay, to some extent malaria was there, but dengue has come now. And one of the main reasons is also our total neglect of the environment. So, it is a big thing if you can find a frog these days, and now the rains will come. Now, why I'm saying I carry this frog around, just to remind people what background we have come from. If you see, there are so many songs about the frog, so many poems are written on the frog, so many small stories are written about the frog. And this frog is to play a very big role in this vector-borne control activity. आता आम्ही ताका नाच केलो, of course, because of fertilizer and all these pesticides. पण आता आम्ही हे खावपाक लागले. कोस्टल बेल्टान वचत जाल्यार जम्पिंग चिकन म्हणून डिश दिता टुरिस्टांक. फक्त तेजे पांय कापून डिश करप. Somebody told me that it is called flying chicken, and now. Now, this is one aspect, as Ma'am Arpita has rightly pointed out. See, Goans are very connected to gardening, plants, very important thing. So, if we can even, bring back that environmental consciousness. आणि आता ते 22 तारीख या मेच्या, it is a biodiversity day, very important. I see our sanitary inspector of CCP sitting in the audience here. I would request him that he should, municipal biodiversity committees are not functioning. Biodiversity committees are active, we can do a joint activity on vector-borne disease. Then of course 5th of June is coming, World Environment Day, and schools and all will reopen. So आमचो एक मोठो प्रयत्न आसपाक जाय to reach out to the community with information. And since we have got our mobile phones, it all takes an effort from ourselves to forward some messaging. I appreciate DHS yesterday had the prize distribution for the real competition. So खुबशे आमचे भुरगीं reels करपाक लागले. Of course, others, elders also are doing reels. But this is one good way to communicate, share information. Simple things. Yes, सगळे आम्ही उलयता, doctor shared those slides and all that. A few seconds of the reel जर करीत आम्ही share करीत जाल्यार खूप लोकांक पावंक शकता. The other point is that we have to understand that we are in a democracy. When we talk of CCP, when we talk of the neighboring panchayats, now Santa Cruz, Merces, Kurka, Bamboli, all surrounding Taligaon, surrounding Penjim. So as Doctor has rightly pointed out, mosquito has got some flying distance. So CCP area was also ताका दिसले जाल्यार सरपंचाक मेळ्ळें म्हणून फुडले पंचायतीन ताका विजीट मारया ती ग्राम सभा अटेंड करेल. So the mosquito is moving. So we also have to keep in mind that we have to share this information just to the neighboring panchayats, involve them. आम्ही या सगळे आम्ही मांडावळ जर पळयत जाल्यार within CCP, biodiversity committee is there, within the panchayat there is biodiversity, garbage management committee, खूपशे committee आसा. And now when soon of course CCP elections are over, there will be panchayat election. We have to make this a big campaign issue with all the candidates who are contesting. बाबा तू आमकां डेंगू बाबतींत, मलेरिया बाबतींत कितें करतलो? We have to ask this, we have to make it a discussion topic. जशें आमी निश्तेचे रेट आमी डिस्कस करता, टमाटा 20चे 50 जाले, आता ह्या दिसांनी उलयता, पेट्रोलाचे प्रायस वाडले. We should discuss about the mosquito also. How many mosquitoes you have got in your house? It's a good discussion. Whether they have increased like the price hike. Yes, there will be a popular discussion amongst the community. Very important also, we have to involve ourselves with the other related issues. As rightly pointed out by our sanitary inspector, what he's been raising about entry in the housing societies. We have got a lot of friends who are living in flats in these housing societies. We can approach them. Baba, तुमच्या आता housing society meeting हा विषय मांड. Put a small leaflet in the lift put a leaflet at the entrance of the building. So small things like this can make a big difference. And it Benjin, and if you go to Karanale, Donapal, all these areas, I interact with the postal department very much. And ते postman म्हाका सांगता सर एका टायमार आमी सगळे लेटरां बी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करताले आतां जमाना एका प्रोजेक्टान 200 फ्लॅटां आसात कशे आमी पावतले सो यू कॅन इमॅजिन postman is struggling to reach his flats. What will our urban health center staff do? आमी टेक्निकल शब्द बरे वापरता resource reduction. Resource reduction is making our health staff, garbage cleaners and this type of work. This cannot happen. It was happening earlier, okay, but 26 या वर्षांनी decision घेवपा जाय that this has to become a community effort. We have to make all efforts to reach out to the community. Then, if you see participation is a very important thing. सगळे काम एकट्यानेच करपाक जाय न्हू. बायल आसा घरान सगळे बायलांनी क्लीन करपाक जाय उदक सगळे करपाक जाय. No, so गिरायक म्हणून आमी we have to also take. We have discussed a lot about our coconut cells. बरो उल्लेख केला आहे. कोण पियेता ते? Who is drinking that coconut water? Not Ma'am Arpita. She is not going into let's say anywhere and doctor and drinking all that coconut water. He is the consumer गिरायक. So गिरायका सांगपाक जाय बाबा पियेला आता ते 800 भुरगे हे उडयतले where you are going those things. We have to take inquiry. Today when I was coming, I was just observing. There is no system of putting it in bags. So we can do a campaign with urban health center together with CCP. Today जसे आम्ही काने बटाटे येतात in those net type of bags. We can distribute it to them, let them fill it up, tie it up and keep. Collect करपामध्ये सगळे जातले. So Goa Waste Management Corporation also is doing effort in this. But we have to broaden that participation word in getting more people to participate and give simple tasks to different people. Here asa, we have now to road safety army already खूपशे coconut sellers जे asa who are sitting, we have moved them out and videos have been done about it and all that. We are not against coconut sellers. This is not the point. Point is that we have to work out a good waste management program for these tender coconut sellers. The other issue I want to point out is about the control part. जायतेकडे आम्ही दुसऱ्या घरान एक construction चलता. How the construction चलता ते बरें. Can we just take some interest and see can board मारला with all the licenses there. Now you just see the impact in the EDC Pato Plaza area. When the construction चलताले, nobody bothered at that time because there is no housing in that area. आणि थंयसून जे केसी वाळपय पावले. So it's not that a mosquito went to Walpoe. The mosquito beat the staff with art and culture building. The art and culture staff are going to Walpoe. And through that the infection reaches Walpoe. So if you see the control measures, small things that we can do can impact a lot of people and control the spread to other panchayat, other municipal areas or even other talukas. So, माझो आज रिक्वेस्ट आसा कितें की construction साइटीचेर जे लेबर आसा, please remember there is a health card. It's now it is made compulsory. If you don't have the health card, the contractor will be fined up to 10,000 rupees. I think खूपशे पंचायत मेंबरांक उलयता की अजून खबर ना की this fine is there. Okay. Secondly, then now there is the mosquito nets. You can see which Director of Health Services is going to shortly once they get the stock and all that. These mosquito nets also are available to the construction labor and the family. एक आधार कार्ड दाखवून त्यांच्यानी हो नेट वापरू शकता. So there are so many things that we can do to control. जसे परत तिथं मॅडम सांगले की गप्पी फिश. Of course, bio कमी आसा, CCP कमी झालेले आसा. But we have to also talk about those environmental kind of control measures. Using the fish, organizing simple glass bottles, collect the fish and distribute. See, we can do these small efforts from our side to activate the word control. So friends, I really would take this opportunity once again. We will definitely do a very organized program this year through our consumer clubs, which are there in various schools, high secondary and colleges in the Panjim area. But my special appeal, and I would like to thank the media, they have been very important partners in this activity because कितें आसा धाकट्या हॉलान मिटींग गेले उलयले आनी गेले पूण ते खुबशे लोकांक पावंक शकता because of the media through their channels, through the print and cable channels, they are, YouTube and all, they have been reaching it. So thanks to them for their continuous support in this campaign. And I feel that if you all resolve today that 16th May, आमी हांगा जमलेले आसा, 30th is State Food Day. So, as a state, let us, get a good certificate, so to say, that we also can be dengue free, or we have a good anti-dengue or dengue control campaign. Let that message go to the tourists. And finally, I feel that we have to, approach tourism department. कित्याक आसा आतां पयला खुबशे फ्लॅट A, B and B म्हणून register म्हणून जाल्लेले आसा. So they are giving these flats or bungalows to the tourists. Okay, so they booking करता, they spend some time, they go. So थंय ते फ्लॅटान कितें जाता कोणाक खबर ना. So if we can get a list from the tourism department, थोडे तरी आमी फ्लॅटांनी which are registered with them, we can approach because today the situation आमी म्हणटा Goa is a small state, पण आमी पळयता resident population जर 18 लाख आसा, गोंयान 1,10,00,000 tourists येयले 2025. So you just imagine the entire discussion is starting to change. परत आमी जे उलयता, tourists will be a very important component in our control program. That is word of mouth, and they will go back to their state. If they control dengue, we should say thanks to Goa that they have taken a good message from here. So once again, I would like to thank Urban Health Center Company for organizing this very important program. I had requested to do this program only for one reason is every time we do the program only with CCP, that of course should be done, no doubt. But beside the councillors, आम्ही पब्लिकाक इन्वॉल्व करून ही मेसेज तांकां पावचे आनी हो प्रोग्राम केलो म्हत्वाचो आयच्या नॅशनल डेंगू डेचे प्रोग्राम केलो म्हणून चोरान चड देव बरें. थँक्यू.
Thank you, sir. Your presence indeed makes a difference. Forum is open. कोणाक कितें प्रश्न विचारपाचे आसा जाल्यार विचारल्यार जाता. फाटल्यान आमी डिफरंट काइंड्स ऑफ मॉस्किटो लार्वाचे दवरलेले आसात. आमचो फायलेरिया इन्स्पेक्टर लक्ष्मीकांत गांवस will explain you what kind of larva and which diseases it spreads. Okay? Please have a look at it. Also, we have few leaflets mentioning how dengue is spread, where the breeding occurs. Correct? So, feel free to connect with us if you all want any activity to be held in your offices, on your construction sites, in your housing societies also. Madam, तुमच्या मुस्लिम वाड्यार थंय सुद्दां दवरूं येता. So wherever in the community, feel free to connect with us. We are there, but we need your cooperation as well. Okay. So any questions? फिश व्हरपाक प्रोसिजर म्हटल्यार तुवें डबो घेवन येवपाचो, नुस्तें घेवन वचपाचें. आता ते नुस्तें कशें घालप बांयन, वयल्यानसून जर तुमी तो डबो एम्प्टी केलो, इट विल हिट द सरफेस आनी तेन्ना तें व्हरतलें नुस्तें. इतलें डेलिकेट नुस्तें आसता. बांयन व्हडलें नुस्तें आसूंक जायना, तें हेका खातलें. बांयन जर पंप आसा जाल्यार तेका जाळी बसोवपाक जाय, नाल्यार पंप करतना अडकतलें. ओके, हे प्रोसिजर तुम्ही फॉलो करून जाय, ते ऑटोमॅटिक मल्टिप्लाय जातले and it will take care of larva stage. Okay, we have the line listing of wells in Panjim jurisdiction and accordingly, as I said, pre-monsoon preparedness म्हणून आम्ही fish introduction drive करतात. तसेच आम्ही टायर कलेक्शन drive करतात. where we must be getting the tires. खंय आसता आसतले सगळे मातशें दिसता न्ही गॅरेजीन टायर आसता. तेंच्यांनी सांगले तशें चिंबलाची एक गजाल. आय वॉज ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ चिंबल फ्यू डेज बॅक. आमकां एका वाड्याचेर डेंग्यू केस मेळ्ळी. सगळ्यांक सोदलें कांयच ब्रिडींग मेळना. पूण एक बरी 4 व्हिलर पार्क करून दवरलेली. तिचो ग्लास फुटलेलो म्हणून तेजेर ताडपत्री घातलेली आनी ताडपत्री उडूंक जायना म्हणून 6 टायर दवरलेले. फुडल्यान 2, वयर 2, फाटल्यान 2. आनी त्या टायरांनी ब्रिडींग आसलेले वीच पीपल वेर नॉट अवेर ऑफ. कळ्ळें न्ही. लोक घराचेर ताडपत्री घालतात झोपड्यांचेर. उडूंक जायना म्हणून टायर दवरतात. कळ्ळें न्ही. ते करपाचें ना. टायरान ना जाल्यार कितें फील करपाचें आसता. ना जाल्यार तें पंक्चर करून तरी दवरूंक जाय कट करून. ना जाल्यार इट इज इम्पॉसिबल टू टेक आउट water stagnation from the tire. Done? Okay. On behalf of Urban Health Center Panji, I take this privilege to thank you all for being part of this session today. Besides your busy time schedule, I thank Goem coordinator Shri Roland Martinson. His coordination and his participation is very important to us. Full team, I thank you.